Ready? All right. Good evening and welcome to tonight's scheduled meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'll go through how we conduct these meetings real quick. The manner in which we conduct these meetings is as follows. The petition is called to the front, will be named, and the petition read into the minutes by a member of the board. The petitioner will then be granted the floor to provide details, present exhibits, and otherwise state the arguments on their own behalf. The discussion will be opened up to members of the public. All questions and comments I ask to please be directed to the board, and then we'll discuss them. So you don't talk to each other, you talk to us. Unless you want to do something through the board, then you ask us. The board will discuss and cast a vote as necessary. So on our agenda tonight, special permit, Gary Melanson. Okay, why don't you come on up? Walter, would you like to read? This is Melanson.
It's Melanson, Mr. Chairman.
Right there, yep.
Pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 11, notice is hereby given that the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. at the Clinton Town Hall, 242 Church Street, Clinton, Massachusetts, regarding an application from Gary Melanson, 76 Lancaster Road, Clinton, Mass., seeking a special permit under Sections 4130 and 4230 of the Clinton zoning bylaws, 9300 special permit in which the premises has achieved a title of privileged pre-existing non-conforming lot of land for the purpose of building a single-family home at 76 Lancaster Road, Clinton, Mass. The parcel can be further identified on Assessor's Map 126, parcel 3376. Interested parties may review copies of the petition and accompanying plans and documents at the town clerk's office during regular hours. Any person wishing to be heard should be present in person at the time of the zoning board, at the time of the board meeting.
Thank you very much. I think this one's mine. Oh, yours might be over there, I don't know. No? Do we have an extra? Not sure I found
I
one.
do.
Mr. Sadowski, how are you tonight?
Very well, Mr. Chairman.
This is 82 Church Street. I got the other, I got the, okay, thank you.
Okay, terrific. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, board members, and members of the general public, my name is David Sadowski. I'm the principal of DJ and Associates. I have a residence at 7 Cedar Street in Clinton, Massachusetts. Along with me here is Mr. Gary Melanson, the person who is trying to purchase this lot that's been in existence since 1951 over on Lancaster Road. I put together a site narrative to explain what had happened at the property, and I also filed an application for a special permit. The lot was subdivided in 1978, and it sat since that time in its present form. I went through, and I've got a copy of the 1972 zoning bylaws, which were in effect when the lot was created. And at that time, there was only 2 zones. There was a residential and there was a general use. And at that time, this lot conformed to the residential. We needed 110 feet of frontage and 12,000 square feet. And then any successive units were 6,000 more. But there was no talk about additional acreage needed for septic system, additional this, additional that. The land was owned by, and I don't know if I can pronounce the name correctly, V-A-G-H-I-N-I, I think it's Vahini. The Vagini family has owned it since 1951. It's changed hands inside the family, but it's never left. It's never been subdivided since that 1978 plan. We feel we have a privileged pre-existing non-conforming lot. We've filled out the different questions that were in the special permit package on impacts on traffic, impacts on utilities. We have an existing road. We have a lot of things that were already asked for or wouldn't be a detriment. There'd be a single-family house going up. It's a neighborhood with single-family houses. The lot has 14,400 square feet. It's got 120 feet of frontage. Back then, they used to have a thing called a major road, which is a 60-foot wide taking, or not a major road. And and Lancaster Road is 40 feet wide. So we'd be under not to be considered a major road category. I mean, the lot is sit the way it is, but it does not have public sewer in front of it. There's public sewer about 400 or 500 feet up the street, but the town does not want, I talked to DPW and we've approached them, they do not want any type of an ejector pump to run 400 feet up because sooner or later it's gonna come under town control and DPW control. They like us to put in the septic system. The owner of the property, about a year ago, hired a gentleman named Mark Elbag. He's a PE. He came in and he did soil testing, he found gravel. He designed a 3-bedroom house, which Mr. Melanson would like to build as a 3-bedroom house, not a 4-bedroom house, on that property of land. The plan could not be approved by the Board of Health because of the requirement of additional acreage needed under current zoning. So we think we have a special situation since this lot is set dormant for so long. I mean, it's not land courted, but it was recorded at the Registry of Deeds. It was done by the Perkins, and the lot is not changed in figure or in shape. It's not like it would set a precedent because there's not too many lots around that were formed in the 50s or in the 70s that are still in the same shape and size that can accept the septic. There's town water out in front of it, and it's not, housing is needed by everyone. So that's why we're here tonight, try to bounce these ideas, or present these ideas, I should say, to the board, through you, of course, Mr. Chairman, and proceed. We feel that the special permit would be the way to go. I do have a copy of the 72 zoning bylaws. You can see the difference in the thickness of the,
Yep.
and we did have the 1990, the town clerk has records of them down in the vault.
The board doesn't set precedent, as you know, so I don't think we have to worry about that piece of it. But, so what is it, I'm not sure I'm understanding, what are we looking for, what is non-conforming in this lot? Is it-
Size of the lot.
It's the size, I thought you had 12,000, what is it, an R2?
It's in R2 now, so it needs 18.
Okay, but at the time it was an R1,
Right, and it's got 14.
or was it an R?
It was
Because
just
that's all it was at
in
the time.
resident, it was called, it was general use or neighborhood residence.
Yeah.
Those were the two terms.
When did that change from, when did they add R2?
They added R2 in 1990. There was a town meeting, it was article number 17 at that town meeting in 1990. It was tried to be changed in 1988, and it was defeated by town people, but in 1990, they brought enough support, and they created 5 zones at that time. R2 was one of the 5.
Okay.
So again, that lot had been sitting since 78, and it was created in 1990.
Do you know why was it requested that an additional 10,000 square feet would be required for a septic system?
Well, one of the things that DPW, or excuse me, DEP, would have been the one that would have talked about having additional lands, so that smaller postage stamps, even though they could accept a septic, there wouldn't be septic upon septic upon septic. That's what I'm thinking.
Are there a lot of septic tanks within the other single families around there?
No, most of the other ones, because the whole subdivision in the back that was Nate Schwartz's property is all tied into sewer.
I know where it is.
The one on the corner is tied into the sewer at the top of the hill at Lorraine, and the one further down is tied in. This would be the only one that has a septic in that general area. All the others are on a public. We did look at the people in the back about approaching them about an easement down the property line, but it would have been inexpensive to try to secure an easement to run your sewer down someone's property.
Alan, you have any questions? Any members of the public have any questions or comments about this? Nobody, okay. Either one of you guys have any more questions?
No, I know where it is. I know it's located.
You do? Yeah. Okay. Just give me one moment, would you? Do you have anything further to add, Mr. Sadowski?
I just think that, since the applicant is trying for 3 bedrooms instead of 4, since the applicant's not trying to put a duplex where you could have asked for one before because it was 1 or 2 family, and trying to downsize the area to be used and the area for the septic with 3 bedrooms instead of 4, it'd be 330 gallons a day instead of 440. I think every effort's being made to try to make the lot as less obtrusive, if that's the correct term, as something else that could possibly go on that property.
All right. Appreciate that, that commentary on that.
And Mr. Melanson said it's for his daughter.
It's not for sale.
He's here.
Okay,
For her, my daughter and her husband to be.
let's see, all right, thank you for that.
They're living in the family house now.
We're all living together again.
I see, that's a beautiful thing. On some days.
Short-term abuse.
Alan, would you, we need a motion, would you like to set a motion?
I make a motion to accept the application for a special permit for Mr. Gary Melanson at 76 Lancaster Road.
All right, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion currently? Anybody? No. All right, all those in favor? Aye. It's unanimous. Okay, the special permit's been granted. Good luck.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for your time. I
Yeah,
understand
have a
it
great
was a
night.
volunteer. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. And you know how it works, Mr. Sadowski, and you'll,
It's something when the decision is done, we'll file it at the registry of deeds
Yep.
and we'll report back at
with the clerk for 20 days.
the,
Okay.
the appeal period.
All right, very good. All right, that makes,
Thank you. This guy's building, this Melanson guy's building town.
yes, we'll do this.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I was happy to hear this for his family too. It's nice. He's a big time operator. He's a good surveyor. Tell me one day, you're 3 inches off. I said,
All right.
you can have
Is this the next one?
Take it here. I got it.
You have it? Terrific.
This is the,
All right, next on our agenda, Gabriella Verano.
80 and 82 Chestnut Street.
Do you have that?
I do.
Walter, would you mind reading that into the minutes?
Absolutely. Pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 11, notice is hereby given that the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, at 7:30 PM at the Clinton Town Hall, 242 Church Street, Clinton, Massachusetts, regarding an application from Gabriella V. Verano, 82 Chestnut Street, Clinton, Mass., seeking a special permit under Section 4130 of the Clinton zoning bylaws, 9300, for the purpose of conversion of a 3 to a 4-family home at 80 and 82 Chestnut Street, Clinton, Mass. The parcel can be further identified on Assessor's Map 59, Parcel 1141. Interested parties may review copies of the petition and accompanying plans and documents at the town clerk's office during regular hours. Any person wishing to be heard should be present in person at said time before the board.
Thank you, Walter.
how you doing?
I'm well. Boy, good to see you. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Just for the record, William O'Neill, I'm representing Gabriella Verano, who is not here this evening, but her husband Maurizio is. The Veranos have lived on Chestnut Street for many years, and this may somewhat sound familiar to you, but in 2018, this matter came before the board, and actually it was approved by the board. And if you recall, this is 3 houses down from Torini's Diner, big blue house, a gigantic house, actually. And there are 3 units in the building, and one of the ones, the right side, I believe, is one apartment, 2,500 square feet, so bigger than most homes in Clinton. And so at the time, there was twofold action where the Veranos were going before the planning board and before the zoning board. Excuse me. And the planning board essentially said, well, you need to have a plan for a sprinkler system. So that was done, and I have that with me. I realize that's not before this board, but that would be before the planning board, and we are on the agenda, I forget the date, but it's in February. So we filed two applications. But, so nothing has changed since that original application, it's just that it was stale, it just expired. And I have the original application, I have, and I will give the credit to, the Veranos were represented in 2018 by Attorney Stephen Philbin, who did a great job summarizing the history of this whole area and how since 1928, industry was here and they built houses on Green Street, on Chestnut Street, Barrett Street. And it labeled all of the streets where they had developed properties. But Mr. Verano has, they've succeeded, and in the plan, I have the parking plan, and actually the driveway goes in the right side and can come out the left side and can have parking right around. There are 2 parking spaces for each unit, and then there are 2 additional spaces as well. I didn't submit it originally, but I do have a number of copies of Mr. Philbin's summary.
Thank you.
And I asked him if I was okay to use it, and he said yes. I told him I'd give him the credit for the nice work
He's a nice guy.
that he did. And, but it does,
You don't happen to have excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt. You don't happen to have a copy of the decision?
I do. And so I did bring my copies of the decision.
Okay, very
Marked
good.
down in 2018. And I guess I would be happy to say that in reviewing that decision, at least 3 of the board members are, that are sitting here this evening, were on the board and voted in favor of it at that point. So on page 3 of that last attachment, says Timothy McGinn, Robert Latini, Christopher O'Donnell, Richie Friel, unfortunately no longer with us, and Walter Ryan, all voted in favor. So I'm not recreating the wheel, it's really by virtue of it being stale, we had to come back before this board. I think the things that were raised in Mr. Philbin's summary are great in that, there aren't too many places you have an apartment that have 2,500 square feet. And the way he described it, as the way this house was built, it was almost like, one side was almost like a dormitory style. Many bedrooms, and just not conducive to the way things are. I think there have been times where have had multiple families occupying that one side, only because one family doesn't usually need that much space. And frankly, that probably creates more vehicles than what you would have if you had 4 separate units. If you wish, I'll stop talking, give you a minute to read that 3-page summary.
I do have one question. Are you here for a variance or a special permit?
Well, I think we are asking for both. Well, for area, I see that's checked off. It says special permit. That's not my check mark, but when I come in, I'm asking for, I'm looking at the 2000.
Yeah, that's on the agenda.
Yeah.
I just, excuse me for 1 second. All right, so that's, where's today's,
You want to just read it?
yes.
I see it does say special permit. That is not what we were requesting.
So that does present a problem. We're here to, we've advertised for a special permit, not a variance. So that creates a bit of an issue. Right, we've been through this before, and we have a situation where it's listed as a special permit, but it's actually a variance. So I don't know that we're gonna be able to actually take any action on this tonight. Sounds like a mistake someplace along the line. Yeah, special permit listed here. All right, and so you're looking for basically a decision that would match the one that was,
Agreed upon.
yeah, thank you, September 19th, 2018.
That is, yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a variance.
Yeah.
I did, beyond my abilities, but one of the staff members had the ability to take your decision and create a new one, blanking out certain areas. So I did take that liberty, at least to present it to you in the event that it did go positively, that we have something that, or I could submit subsequently to this.
Right, so I apologize for this. I don't know where the mistake happened, and I don't think it really matters at this point, other than to say, I think maybe we could pick up the ball here. We'll have to re-advertise this as a variance and a special permit. What's the special permit for?
Well, I think it's frontage and area. We're thinking that it's a variance altogether. I think the special permit would come from the planning board.
Yeah, the planning board over is because it's two applications, they just put special permit on the wrong
Special
one.
permit should be in front of the planning board.
Right.
And we've got the variance.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Yes, the application, and I submitted both at the same time, so perhaps that's it, but I do have the application for the planning board, and it does say special permit.
So when you meet with the planning board in February,
Yeah.
they're gonna be looking at a variance?
No, well,
Maybe find out right away.
I'll go look at the advertisement. I don't
Yeah.
remember. I saw the advertisement come in, we sent it into the,
For February, yes, I do remember that, we're already set for that.
But is it for a variance or a special, anyway, you know, it doesn't have to be answered today, best to find out so that that can be corrected
Agreed,
before that
yeah.
February meeting. Yep. Okay, so then I would say that you request that it be withdrawn without prejudice, then we'll be able to, we can vote on that, make a motion to accept that, and then we'll see you in February. And
so do we start, I guess, all over again, or giving notices to everybody?
So I
or-
think, yes, but I think that, I guess a decision would have to get made, but depending on where the mistake happened, that's who would be responsible for the costs
Well, we're not
of all
worried
this other
about that,
stuff,
but
so.
just,
And that's the zoning, so the zoning is not that expensive anyway. It's,
Yeah.
you know, depending on the abutters and it'll probably 7-something maybe.
Forward from the public?
See again?
Should we let anyone speak from the public? I don't know how this works.
I know, because we're not even gonna have the.
I just feel bad if someone did show up.
I know, it's too bad. And he brings up a good point. Members of the public who are here to discuss this, yes? Yes. Okay, so if you've been listening, yeah, it was advertised differently and it's a technicality. And for your sake, we want this to go, which way it goes, it should be done properly so that it can pass muster for any kind of scrutiny that should occur. So we want to do it right. It was advertised as a special permit. It is for a variance. So for that reason, we are going to, accept request to withdraw without prejudice. And then at that time, it's not going to be a hearing. We're going to close it. And this will happen next month.
okay.
All right?
I'm just confused. On the advertisement between now and the next meeting, do we have enough time to advertise?
I believe so, yeah. You just need 2 weeks prior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what, since you had here 4130, would that still be the number, what I'll put on the legal notice? Because it says special permit under section 4130.
Yes, that's the table,
So-
that's the dimension table.
It would still be, that would be, but it's a variance though. Okay.
All right, so would you like to make your request?
I didn't quite hear you. Yes, we'll request to withdraw for this evening.
Okay, so I think we need a motion. So
I'll
we
make a
can-
motion to accept the withdrawal.
Okay, a second?
I'll second
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All right, so that is granted. So we are going to, it's withdrawn. And at this
Okay.
point, it's not like we are setting out, we're not continuing it or anything else like that, it's withdrawn. And so, for that reason, we can't say that it's going to be rescheduled or anything else like that. You're gonna go through the process again,
Okay.
all right?
But, okay, so I guess I will,
So if we can hang on to these,
yes,
because we'll need them next month?
correct.
Okay, very
Yeah,
good.
yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. Members of the public, our apologies. These things happen from time to time, and in all likelihood, we'll see you next month. All right, now we have, just
Th-
give me
thank
a
you.
a minute. You're welcome. Give me a minute here to jot down some notes. All right. So, no, only because really we weren't even entertaining the petition at that point. If we were going to take a vote on it or something like that, then I think yes. But what I think is important is that when we do something like, if we know they're gonna be coming back, that others who might be in attendance, we would want them to hear the arguments that get made by others. Right? Okay. All right. Now we have an informal. Mr. and Mrs. Jake Sullivan, why don't you come on up?
Good evening, and thanks for fitting us in this evening.
Sure.
This is my wife, Lori.
Hi.
So, the reason why that we're here is actually because of this gentleman in the back. His name's Ryan Magodi, he's my contractor at my home. We live at 28 Clinton Street. We purchased our home 2002, possibly early 2003. We've been in the house since then. Ryan found out some interesting things because we have some water coming in from under our deck, okay, where it attaches to the house. So he's done a few projects, couple of bathrooms and a kitchen and some other work at the home, which all has been permitted. He met with Jim in the building department yesterday, and lo and behold, the house that we purchased has a non-conforming deck on it. So we live on the corner of Clinton and Beacon Street. My wife prepared a little file for you if you
I
want to
only
take a
have
look.
one copy.
Sorry.
All right, we can share it.
We just found out yesterday, and you guys fit us in tonight. We were so
Okay,
grateful.
yeah.
We're looking to get this fixed.
All right.
So, when we purchased the home, it had a set of sliding doors in our kitchen. You'll see a picture of the beautiful door that he put in.
This is the deck that's non-conforming, okay.
Correct.
What's the address?
28 Clinton Street.
Is that red line the boundary?
The red line's my fence.
Existing fence, the purple dotted line is the property line.
Okay, and obviously not to scale, but how far from the boundary line is the deck?
So it's about, well, the boundary, the deck, foot and a half or something from,
From the back wall of the house to the property line it's actually recorded in two different places in the file, one at 12.5 feet, one at 12.8 feet,
Yeah.
So back of the house to the property line.
back of the house.
Okay, so it's 2 feet off.
yeah, it's 2 feet off the
It's
line.
approximately 2.8 feet.
I see. You see what we're looking at? Okay, so go on.
So we found out that the deck is non-conforming, and they directed us down here to speak to you gentlemen about what our next move is on this. I mean, we're really tight there. It's our only other egress out of the home. So we're not looking to do anything different. We're just looking to replace it as it is there.
Who built the deck?
I have no idea. It came with the house.
All right, so you bought the house, the deck was on it.
Yeah, but it doesn't show it on the plot plan, but my wife attached the sale flyer when we bought
The
the home.
second page in, and
that
it will
states
show
that
you,
it
it
has
says
a
raised deck.
Okay, but so what are you trying to do?
We're trying to replace the deck. It's
Oh,
leaking.
you want to rebuild the
Using the
deck.
same footprint.
Using the same footprint.
Tim, I'm pretty sure there's a zoning law that after 10 years, if there's no action taken against non-conforming, it automatically becomes conforming.
Wasn't that the thing that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so if it was built 10 years ago, and if no action has been taken for a non-conforming situation, after 10 years, it automatically becomes conforming.
I think I have that email.
Yeah.
You should be all set.
Okay, and then we would just, how would we alert Jim in the building department that it's okay?
He would probably just reach out to you, Tim, right?
Yeah.
Tim, sign here.
Just start building and see what he says. No, I'm joking.
No, that's unfortunately my neighbor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't encourage that at all. It's a bad move because, and think about your insurance company and all kinds of different things that
And
can go
he'd show up with the
wrong.
my
bulldozer.
permit file is this thick down there. We have not, like,
It's not
again,
a
I got
good
laughed
idea.
at by Tony Z when I went down for a shed permit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good idea. Was this back in April, maybe?
Yeah, sounds right, yeah.
Crumbs, this is not opening up, this stupid phone. I can send an email to Jim and
Okay.
just let him know that, do you have proof that it's been there since,
The only, we're gonna dig into the file. Like I said, I just found out about this yesterday.
right, because wouldn't it be like a?
But it was there when you bought the house,
It was
correct?
there, yeah,
but
because
the
again,
notorious occupation type stuff where
Yeah.
it's, you've got to be.
Ryan,
if
could I
you
get
can
you to
prove
just
it.
speak to
Right.
the
But once you
setbacks?
do, it's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Be able to give, if the picture's on your home listing when you bought the house in, 2000 or 2002.
I think, yeah.
The
So
only thing that's changed is it's got green siding now, because we had a Volvo crash through our house back in '09, and that started my permit process with the town of Clinton, believe it or not. Didn't really have any plans to do much work.
All right. So, you're in Alan, was it Alan? Were you the one who found that thing?
Yeah, when I went to the zoning class.
You went to a zoning, you
Central
know,
Mass
the
Planning, yeah.
continuing education that the town puts this board through, has paid dividends for you.
I appreciate that as a taxpayer, I love to hear that, and I appreciate you guys volunteering to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And your fee is only,
Yeah.
The other thing you can do too,
Everybody
is
here
if
gets
you
a
go on
raise.
the town website, the GIS website.
Yeah.
You can choose different years for your look. So
Okay.
like, so if you choose the map from 2000 or whatever, it'll show the overhead view of your house, and if the deck's there, then there's your proof that it was there
Okay,
10 years ago.
okay.
This house was built in what, 2001?
So that's a good job, by the way, on that.
So
Like right
from
here,
what I've been
drawing.
told,
It is
it
actually
was
good.
built
That's
in
good. A lot of
'99,
people come with-
flipped.
not to
Which
scale,
was
but I did color
bought by
code.
a lady that we bought it from. She went through a divorce. The house was only a year and a half or 2 years old when we bought it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the permits here, and new house built 2001, at least that's what it's recorded as. So I mean, I don't see any problem with it, but there should be a record of, within the building department, whether or not the deck was built in 2001, is what my guess would be.
Unless there was no permit for it.
But the.
Well, there was a new house,
The
so-
deck was probably put on after that.
Or maybe, that's possible.
But how could you get an occupancy permit without anything there? No stairs, no nothing, because technically,
Okay, I see what
technically, even a set of stairs would be too close to the property line there. So somebody had to approve a means of egress. It's 12 feet off the ground, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said to Ryan, when we got there, and I mean, I kind of finding out the hard way now, but we may be a victim of that weird flashing from the late 90s that didn't jive with the pressure-treated lumber, kind of melted the metal flashing. So I
I'm
think
not familiar with any of that, but
that
I'll take
might
your
be
word
something.
for it.
So when I met with Jim yesterday, actually, we went through the entire file. Jim's concern was there was the original plot plan from when it was purchased in '99, and the gentleman flipped it and brought in a modular home, so on and so forth. Everything was permitted, everything was legal. There's nothing on the plot plan about a deck in '99. All the other things were approved. The man sold the house to the woman that these folks purchased her from. She was there for a year or two, went through a divorce. Jim believes that somehow in between that time period, the deck went on. He doesn't have anything in the file or the plot plan for the deck itself, but everything else has been permitted since. These folks bought the deck as advertised with the house in late 2002, 2003. It's been there since. It was the original style pressure-treated wood, which was treated with arsenic back in the day.
Yes, I recall that.
In certain types of pressure-treated wood, when it would change from arsenic to the newer style, they had to eliminate aluminum flashing, which is what it looks like their deck letter was flashing. Because aluminum flashing, the new chemicals that they pressure-treated wood with eat through them. So now they have plastic, lead, it's a different flashing concept. But it's 21 or 22 years old at this point, so it's gone through its average lifetime with time and exposure.
Yep.
And so they do have some water damage going on. I did bring up to Jim, he did recommend we come up and sit with you people and speak about it. I did recommend to Jim that one way or the other, they're pre-existing non-conforming with their, whatever, I believe it's a 10-foot deck. Now, even if they were to remove the 10-foot deck, for means of egress and life safety, they would need to keep that rear exit. And in order to put even a 4-foot deck on it, the safety rail system, which would allow you 3-foot clear pathway for egress, you're still gonna be non-conforming, because with a 10-foot setback, you're still not gonna have it.
Yeah, I think you can rebuild the non-conforming, right? You could just, as long as you stay on you don't increase the non-conforming.
Stay in the same footprint.
The same footprint or
Same
something
footprint,
small.
So I don't have much more room to go anywhere else.
Replace it safely to code, fix any water damage on the sheathing, that's occurred underneath the siding from the leaking ledger board. And that's how it started off. So they're not looking for any frills, it's just that, obviously the material will be new pressure treated, it would probably be composite decking versus a pressure treated decking. The decking, the project may increase in value based on the materials they use, but the footprint will not change.
Okay.
And it will allow them to have the second means of egress for fire safety.
All right, so there are two things here, I think that, and they were all in your favor. I think, A, the 10-year rule that Alan had just pointed out.
Yep.
I think that covers you. And B, that to replace something that's non-conforming, an existing non-conformity, you can replace it,
Okay,
as long as you don't increase the non-conformity.
okay, yep.
So, with both of those things, I don't think you'd have a problem.
So next process is reapply for the building permit?
So that was my next question as well. So how do we proceed from here with Inspector Salmon?
Let me see if you need, so, do they need a special permit to replace the structure, that deck? I forget. I forget what page that was on. Chris knows this stuff, but if,
There
where's
were
Chris?
steps over the years.
All right, in the
You never
Philippines.
needed a permit because you're always making a
There's
deposit.
there's a bylaw that lists this stuff specifically, and then, but I don't know if it says that you actually need a special permit, or if you don't need one.
I think you need a-
10-year-old almost sounds like it would fall under the permit.
Yeah, I think if you
Yeah.
contacted Sam and just
Yeah,
gave
you
him a
think
heads
you
up, but
should,
he should have known
I
that.
think you should just need a new building permit. I don't think you need a special permit from us.
I agree on that.
Obviously, with everybody involved here, your responsibility, our responsibility, we want to make sure it's in writing and done properly for future, whether they stay there or whether we want for future.
Just want it done right.
Yeah, so look at
3620.
3650.
3650.
Non-conforming single and two-family residential structures. Non-conforming single and two-family residential structures may be reconstructed, extended, altered, or structurally changed upon the issuance of a building permit after a determination by the building commissioner that such a proposed reconstruction, blah, 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 does not increase the non-conforming nature of said structure. And in this case, your structure is just the deck.
Go to the last paragraph in section after 3653, Tim. That says that we can issue a special permit for the rebuild if needed.
Yeah. In the event that the building commissioner determines that the non-conforming nature of such a structure would be increased,
Which is not.
which is not, the Board of Appeals may, by special permit, allow such reconstruction. So you've got three things going for you now. So, I think you'll be all right, and so you want to go back to Jim, and, give me a little time to get the, forward what you sent me over to Jim.
Okay.
And so that'll show, and you should come with some type of, like we talked about, some proof that that's been there all this time.
10 years.
At least 10 years, yeah.
I'm from the assessor's office. I have some aerial flyover imagery, which I don't remember how far back it goes, but it might go back 10 years.
That would be
And if I
great.
can, then I can provide it, give my office a call tomorrow. I'll take a look and I'll let you know if I can pinpoint that and see exactly what it is. And I might be able to give you the proof that you need.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I can't see your name with the.
Oh, it's Dimitro.
Dimitro. And what, assessor's office?
Yes.
And what's the four-digit exchange on the assessors?
4117.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, so you're going back there to reapply for, or to apply for a building permit with the, you know.
With the knowledge
what
we
you
have
learned,
tonight.
Yes.
Okay, and, yeah, that sounds great. If we gave you till next week to do it, would that be all set from getting the email over to him?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your time, everyone.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter if this was anything. No, but I mean, I don't have to do anything formal after this, a month from now.
You're welcome.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Thank you.
Is Jim Salmon still the?
I thought Jim Salmon had left.
They never advertised for replacement, and Jim's such a dedicated guy. I actually
That's
saw
why
him,
I'm not
I saw
accepting
him
the
downstairs last week. I'm like, hey, Jim, how's the retirement going? He's like, oh, I'm still here.
Love it.
No one quits this place.
Yeah, you're here for life.
They never formally didn't accept his resignation.
Right.
Yeah. But they didn't accept it.
Yeah, thanks for this. It's going in the file cabinet.
Maybe several years back, some guy came with a pickup truck, very nervous at the Historical Society. And I said, what's the matter? He says, and he goes to the car, and there's about this size headstones in the back of his truck. With all printed out. Really? And I said, so I started looking at it. I was down on Main Street. He was making his driveway a little wider, so he took down a wall that was there. And he says, there's more of these headstones down there.
It's part of somebody's wall?
Yeah.
Wow.
And finally, I got back deep enough that there was a it was a monument sales place. And these are all their mistakes. They built this one.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm starting to get a little nervous.
It was a little morbid for a second.
Did
Extension
they
of the
appoint
funeral
another
home.
planning board member?
Yeah.
Cemetery.
Is there another planning board member now? So that special, after last Wednesday's special meeting with the... Yeah. Oh, so they have a new guy on, so they're not short anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Chris is going to be back for the next meeting, right?
Yeah.
We presume so.
Well, I think the email said that he was going to be, right? So, do you guys want me to give you this decision and
I
the
just
summary
don't want
that
to go for
he
a third
gave,
meeting and get continued.
since I might not participate in the next meeting?
Yeah.
Yes,
This place was full.
that would be very helpful. I'll take them.
There you go.
Those are Chris's comments.
Yeah.
So what do you want me to do here, sign this?
Sign where, you see where there's two to sign.
Yeah, 'cause I had the same problem in December when I was here. I only had 3 in December. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna continue the third one. Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
All right, wow, it's been a while since we've been here.
It has been, what, 3 months, 4 months?
No, it hasn't been
September,
4
right?
months, no.
This is always coming out of zoning, and that's it. I said, just.
Do I need to sign this?
I'm surprised, it was nothing.
Oh, just for the, for
zoning-
the
no, it's
expenses?
Yeah.
Okay.
August.
Yeah, yeah. No, I saw that those came
One
in
from
emails.
August.
Do I need to sign this or no?
Let's see, how many signatures do we need of this?
Just two.
Just two, okay,
Just
then
two.
you're good, yeah.
You got it, we got it, we're good to go.
All right, do we have any other business to conduct here?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay. and-
Seconded.
Seconded, and it is 8:16 and the meeting is adjourned.